Hey girl, did you know summer's just 6 weeks away? Are you ready? Wait! Before you switch to another show or plunge headfirst into your favorite flavor of Ben& Jerry's, I got you. If you are dealing with winter weight gain that just won't budge, or hormonal acne, irritability, and fatigue that makes you want to go back to bed and hibernate, this episode is for you. Today, I'm paying it forward and pulling back the curtain on the 3 biggest mistakes I made to try and balance my hormones and lose hormonal weight. It took months of doing the wrong thing over and over and over again and expecting different results before I finally realized there had to be a better way. I'll be back in 60 seconds to give you all the deets. Welcome to Are You There Midlife? It's me, Monica. Hi, I'm Monica Topetti, wife, mom, health coach, and hormone imbalance survivor. And I'm on a mission to help women in midlife balance hormones naturally without drugs, doctors, or divorce. Are you tired of dealing with heavy, painful periods that look like a crime scene? Are you sick of struggling with anxiety, fatigue, or brain fog that... What was I just saying? Are you frustrated doing all the things to lose weight but still packing on pounds faster than a real housewife changes Birkins? Girl, you are in the right place. Join me each week as I spill the tea on what to expect in perimenopause and beyond. From IBS to insomnia, bloating to funky body odor, I'll unpack all the weird stuff happening inside our midlife bodies. Plus, give you the latest science and holistic solutions to manage it all. So ditch the Spanx and hop on board the Hot Mess Express. Let's do this. Hey, beautiful. Welcome back to the show. So this weekend, I was doing some spring cleaning, putting away some of my winter decor and getting rid of some clothes that I no longer wear. And I decided to do my twice yearly closet rotation. That's the time when I take all of my summer clothes that are in the back of my closet and I rotate them up to the front. I'm definitely a summer girl. If I could live in tank tops and flip-flops all year long, I would. But as I was moving things around, I remembered a time, not so long ago, when I wouldn't be caught dead in shorts, let alone anything sleeveless. And it had just as much to do with how I felt about myself inside as it did with my reflection in the mirror. Because honestly, my hormones were all over the place, and there were days I just wanted to shut out the world, including my husband, and wait for the day to pass. So if you're in that place right now, I get it. I've been there, and I promise you it does get better. All you need is a little help and a little hope. And that's why I wanted to share in today's episode the 3 biggest mistakes I made to balance my hormones and lose weight. From lab results to symptom management, calorie restricting to over-exercising, I'm stirring the tea on what not to do, along with 3 very important lessons I learned on the road to reclaiming my health and my wardrobe. Okay, so the first mistake I made when it came to balancing my hormones and losing weight was taking my lab results as Bible. As I discussed in detail back in episode 2, diagnosing a subclinical hormonal imbalance, like the kind most of us in perimenopause or menopause experience, is historically difficult. I'll go ahead and link episode 2 in the show notes if you're looking for a deeper dive. But for the purposes of today's discussion, suffice it to say that traditional lab tests were created to detect major disease, like cancer. So the vast majority of women's results will fall within normal range. However, normal is not the same as optimal. You may be dealing with hormonal symptoms that are impacting your productivity, your relationships, your mood, your energy levels, and your self-confidence, not to mention your ever-expanding waistline. But there's nothing your doctor can do for you based on your lab work. What I learned: you need to trust your gut. Deep down, I knew something was wrong with me. And even though I was relieved to find out I wasn't dealing with a major disease, continuing to feel the way I was feeling was not an option. So I had to become my own health advocate. The second mistake I made when it came to balancing my hormones and losing weight was focusing on my symptoms rather than the underlying cause. Since I was told I didn't have a hormonal imbalance based on the results of my blood tests, I decided to just focus on my symptoms. And in the beginning, those were acne, anxiety, problems falling and staying asleep, and weight gain. So, I made a follow-up appointment with my primary care doctor, who wrote me a prescription for Wellbutrin for my anxiety. Check. I made an appointment with a dermatologist who wrote me a prescription for spironolactone to clear up my cystic acne. Check. And I bought an over-the-counter sleeping pill for my insomnia and some hydroxycut to help me lose weight. Check, check. And it all helped. For a while. Well, except for the hydroxycut. That got me super amped up and shaky, like my heart was going to jump out of my chest, so I ditched that one pretty fast. But these quick fixes did nothing to really address the root problem of my symptoms, which in my case turned out to be an imbalance of estrogen to progesterone, which is commonly known as estrogen dominance. The result? After a while, the over-counter sleeping pill started to make me feel drowsy and spacey during the day. And my Wellbutrin, well, that actually kind of stopped working. As the weeks and months rolled by, I started experiencing new symptoms like stomach pain, fibrous breasts, heavy periods with clotting, depression, bloating, night sweats, brain fog, memory problems, and even difficulty concentrating. I was a hot, weepy, lumpy mess. And yet nothing was apparently wrong with me. What I learned: you can't treat a hormonal imbalance with symptom management. If you don't address the root cause of what's going on, your symptoms will likely only get worse. And the third mistake I made when it came to trying to balance my hormones and lose weight was doing what I had done before and had worked. As bad as all my other symptoms were, I think the weight gain and the fat gain were the worst. No one else could really see the other symptoms I was dealing with, so I could white knuckle through those and convince myself they weren't really all that bad. But the weight I was putting on was getting harder and harder to ignore. It was a little easier to conceal under baggy sweatshirts and leggings in the winter. But come spring and summer in Southern California, there's no place to hide. At first, I noticed my clothes were starting to fit a little tighter. And then at a holiday get-together, it must have been Easter, my sister wanted to take a bunch of family photos. And when she texted me a couple later in the day and I saw myself, I had to do a double take. I mean, I barely recognized myself. So the next day, I threw out all of the Easter brunch leftovers and all of the candy and got down to business. First, I put myself on a low-calorie diet. Now, this is something I had done often in the past, and whenever I wanted to lose a few pounds, it worked. Only this time, it was an epic fail. Why? Now, to an extent, calories do matter, but hormones matter more, to quote functional doctor and hormone expert Dr. Sarah Gottfried. Essentially, calorie restriction fails because operating at an extreme calorie deficit and skipping meals not only jacks up your blood sugar and puts your body into fat storage mode, it also slows down your resting metabolism, so you burn fewer calories overall. And because your body doesn't know when it's going to get food again, it preserves fuel by storing the calories you eat as fat. In addition to a calorie-restricted diet, I started exercising. A lot. More is better, right? Too much exercise, especially prolonged, steady rate cardio like running or jogging long distances or hour-long cardio boot camps, can actually backfire and prevent you from losing weight by increasing your cortisol levels, triggering inflammation, and worsening insulin resistance, which, again, puts your body in fat storage mode. Lastly, I focused on the wrong foods. Now, I actually changed up my diet by going back on a program called Body for Life that I did more than probably 10 years ago. It actually helped me drop the last 10 pounds of baby weight I had gained after having my daughter. And this program, while sound in many ways, encourages you to load up on healthy foods like whole wheat and whole grains. But this time, I only continued to pack on the pounds. The reason? As I discussed back in episode 6, fluctuating estrogen and progesterone, as well as other hormones in perimenopause and menopause, often makes us susceptible to certain food intolerances or sensitivities. I'll go ahead and link that episode in today's show notes as well. But suffice it to say, there are a few factors that can cause a food intolerance in perimenopause or menopause. Number 1, inflammation in our gut lining due to excess free-floating hormones. Number 2, a loss of digestive enzymes, which just happens as we age over time, and that are needed to digest certain foods. And number 3, chronic stress, which can directly affect our gut lining as well as making it more sensitive to certain foods. As a result, there are a variety of seemingly healthy foods you may have been able to eat for years without any issues, that may now be causing you inflammation. And topping the leaderboard of known food intolerances? You guessed it, gluten and grains. Here's the kicker. While food sensitivities can manifest as a variety of symptoms, headaches, bloating, even anxiety, they can also manifest as weight gain. What I learned. Hormones change the way our body reacts to and metabolizes food, as well as the way we store fat. We can't do the same thing we did in our 20s or 30s to lose weight. We need a new plan that works with our changing body. So there you go. The 3 biggest mistakes I made to balance my hormones and lose weight. In next week's episode, I'll be discussing how specific hormone imbalances actually contribute to weight gain, along with the number 1 solution to move the dial on hormonal weight. In the meantime, are you tired of being dismissed by your doctor or told your hormonal symptoms are just part of getting older? Are you frustrated by blood tests that keep coming back normal, even though you feel anything but? Are you ready to finally get to the bottom of what's going on with your hormones so you can finally put the kibosh on frustrating symptoms like hormonal weight gain? Then click the link in the show notes and take my 5-minute hormone quiz. Developed by 3 functional medicine doctors, this self-assessment uses hormone symptom profiling to evaluate your age, menstrual cycle, and symptoms for 9 of the most common subclinical hormonal imbalances for women in perimenopause through postmenopause. It's quick, it's easy, it's scary accurate. Oh, and it's free. And best of all, it's going to give you the clarity you need to finally understand what's going on with you and your hormones. Until next time, ladies, remember, Change doesn't happen as a result of learning. Change happens as a result of taking action. So carpe hormones! Hey friend, can I call you friend? Because I already feel like we're friends in my head. Did this podcast teach you something, make you laugh, or feel less like an alien? If so, I would be so incredibly grateful if you could take just 60 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the number one way you can thank me and support the show. Until next week, stay cool and keep away from sharp objects.